Hey, my name is Lizzie Smiley, and I absolutely love helping people connect with their calling and all the tools they need to kick roadblocks and excuses right out the door so they can cultivate the life they dream about. If you want to launch, grow, pivot, or scale your Etsy shop, or you've always wanted to develop the mindset and skills to run your own business, then I'm your girl. I've had that entrepreneurial spirit going strong since my very first lemonade stand, and now I'm a work-at-home mama with multiple online companies and a full-time Etsy shop, all while being present with my kids for the everyday chaos and most important milestones. On this podcast, we'll talk about all things business, mindset, Etsy, creativity, dazzling our customers, and so much more. There's plenty of room at this table for you, so scooch on in and let's go. I'm holding nothing back. Welcome to How to Sell Your Stuff on Etsy. I'm so glad you're here. Hey guys, welcome back to the show this week. I'm so excited to be with you. If you're watching on YouTube, you saw me frantically grab the microphone, which was across the desk because I was not planning well. But we are here and it's a great interview. I just got off recording with our guest, and this episode, you're not even ready for how great this is. If you're just getting started, or you're thinking about getting started, or you are stuck, you're about to have the pathways cleared because she has just shared so much wisdom. The youngest ever guest on the podcast. Let me tell you a bit about Kailey. Kailey is a 2023 homeschool graduate with a passion for natural living and being creative. She's so young and she's killing it, y'all. She started her business, Little Midwest Farm, in September of 2023 at the age of 19. In her Etsy shop, Kailey specializes in handmade skincare made with grass-fed beef tallow. Kailey currently resides on her family's small farm in Nebraska with her parents, 8 siblings, and a menagerie of animals. So you are about to hear just how this fast success happened in just a couple of months. She has cleared over 800 sales, and I'm so proud of her. So we're going to learn a ton. Before I bring her on, I just wanted to tell you guys, as of this recording, and so I am just about to clear past 3,000 subscribers on YouTube. If you have not joined me over there, sometimes it is really fun to see these interviews actually live happening, not live, but like happening face to face, and our interactions and what we're pointing to. But also I'm creating other video content over there to help support you and answer questions and kind of get into some of the things that are harder to say on the podcast that you kind of have to screen share to see. So please join me on the How to Sell Your Stuff YouTube channel if you haven't already, and I will continue to serve you as best I can over there. But let's get into the meat today. I'm chomping at the bit to share this one with you. Please help me welcome Kailey to the podcast. Hey, Kailey, welcome to the podcast. I'm so excited we made this happen.
Yes, thank you so much, Lizzie. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, I feel like we need to have a dance party because you are officially the youngest person to ever be on the podcast. You've blown us all out of the water, and I don't even know what to say about it, Kailey. You're amazing.
Oh, well, thank you. I definitely feel very blessed to have seen the fast success that I have.
Yes, and we have to hear all about it. So, please give us the background because your life is absolutely wonderful. And I was just telling you before we started recording that I want to be like you when I grow up. So tell us your story. Tell us about your family, where you live, what's your background, all of that good stuff.
Oh, absolutely. So I live on a little farm here in Nebraska. We have like a lot of animals, farm animals, and we're kind of into homesteading. I was homeschooled along with my 8 siblings, and like from a young age, my parents really instilled this entrepreneurial spirit in me. So I had my first business when I was 6, and then had several different businesses as I got older. And as I neared graduation last spring, I had no idea what I wanted to do at all. And my parents were very gracious with me. They were like, here's your options. You could go to college. You could go work for this place. You could start your own business. And I was like, I have no idea. So my dad gave me a job out in the field driving the tractor that summer. And while I was doing that, I listened to a lot of podcasts. And that's where I found your podcast, Lizzie. And
wow,
I'm sure I listened to probably every single one of them, some of them multiple times. And like having an Etsy shop had never even been on my radar. Like the fact that I started one soon after that is like still very strange to me. But as the summer went on, I kind of got this little plan in my head, And it was around that time that one of my mom's friends, she knew that we had beef, and she had heard about tallow skincare, which is made from beef. And she asked my mom if my mom would make some cream for her out of this. And my mom asked me, because she knew I like to do DIY projects, if I would want to do that. And I was like, sure, why not? So I made her this cream, and it smelled like a pot roast. So
Yes.
I put essential oil in it, and then it smelled like a lavender pot roast.
Yes.
But my mom's friend was so gracious, and she tried it and she loved it, and she was so sweet. So I was like, well, I have to try this too. And I tried it and I loved it too. So after that, I did a lot of experimenting. I got it to the point where it does not smell like a pot roast anymore. Then after that, I was like, well, I guess I could probably sell this stuff because I'm so passionate about it. And I know there are a lot of people out there who want to try this, but don't have the ability to make it themselves. So that's kind of when I started my Etsy journey. And from there, it has like far surpassed anything I'd ever imagined.
Okay, so you need to know how tickled I am at the vision of you riding that tractor, listening to the podcast. Like, I think I can retire right now, Kailey. Like, I have reached the pinnacle of what I will accomplish. That is epic. So here's a question: if you didn't, Etsy wasn't on your radar, why were you listening? Why did you listen to that up to my podcast?
Oh, sure. I listened to so many different podcasts. I had so many ideas, like very random podcasts. I was thinking of starting a boutique. I also was thinking, oh man, there were so many different things, but Etsy was the one that stuck.
So you were just kind of running the gamut of business podcasts. It was kind of like anything you could do about e-commerce, entrepreneurship, running. I got it. That totally tracks. But I'm actually, I'm a little tickled that, do you listen on Apple or Spotify?
Yes, I'm on Spotify now. Back then I was on Podbean.
Podbean? I just want to like give kudos to whoever decided to put my podcast in front of you when you were just like in the entrepreneurial niche. And I don't know why Etsy would have come up. That's amazing. Okay. Super fun. I'm geeking out a little bit. So do you sell other things other than the tallow in your shop?
I also sell herbal tea, and actually right now, that is the only thing that is showing in my shop because I had a huge weekend of sales and completely sold out of everything else. So I will have some product making to do when we are done. But
you have some work to do.
I have some work. But besides that, I have the tallow balm that I was talking about, as well as tallow soap. And then for now, I have the tea, but I think I might be being done with that because it's not as popular as the tallow.
Okay. How interesting. But I do think you're super wise to diversify and have some other things going on in there. Because I know for sure if I am buying tallow from you, I'm adding other things to cart that make sense. Do you grow those herbs yourself for the tea?
I do not.
That would have been so hard. Okay.
Herbs. Yeah, we do for ourselves, but we can barely keep up for that. So I have a good supplier that I trust, and I do outsource that.
That's awesome. Well, I'm very impressed that I love tallow cream, and I've used it for years. And I kind of like forced myself. Actually, I stopped when I was pregnant because the smell, I couldn't do the smell, but it's the gaminess. I'm so impressed that you cracked the code on making it less gamey. Your pot roast analogy was too perfect.
Well, maybe it smells the same. Maybe I've just gotten used to it.
Yeah, no, I'm watching your shop uploads so I can order some because now I want to compare it to the brand I've used for years. I'm super intrigued. So let's talk about your crazy fast success because we are talking in the very beginning of March. This episode will come out in several weeks, but still, we're in March. You opened in September, is that right?
Yeah.
2023 September. And you have
September.
over 500 sales, which probably now, if you had a big weekend, do you know what your number is right now? I wouldn't know what mine is, so don't feel bad if you don't.
884, I think.
I have to change the title of this podcast because you're now over. That is utter insanity. Okay. So tell us, so what were the first 30 to 60 days like? I mean, you came in at the beginning of Q4. How did it go?
Yeah. So it went a lot better than I would have even thought. The first week I had a couple of friends order, like 2, I think, if I remember right, which was very exciting to me. It was about a week later that somebody from out of state that I didn't even know who they were bought. And I was so excited. I screamed and I danced. And I was like, I got a sale on Etsy. I don't think this will ever happen again. And
Little did you know.
obviously it did. Yes. So I actually wrote it down. The first month I had 7 orders. That was in September. And the second month I had 50 orders.
October,
So,
okay.
yeah, October I would have had 50 orders. And during that time I like shared that I had a Etsy shop in one of my YouTube videos. And I like have a small YouTube channel, like 2,000 subscribers. But several of my YouTube subscribers actually went to my shop and purchased from me, which I think might have kind of helped.
Stoked your fire. Yes.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to share your channel in the show notes?
Yeah, sure. That'd be great.
You open that. You just open that. What do you call it? Bag of worms. So I'm like, okay, I'll include the link. Keep talking.
Yeah, sure.
That was so smart though to leverage YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, I just mentioned it, and some of my subscribers were like, "Hey, I'll take that," which was very great. And then getting into November, it picked up a little bit. It was 83. You know, we're getting close to Christmas and people were getting gifts. December was 95 orders. And then I was expecting that January was going to be slow because everybody tells you January is going to be really slow because everybody's bought their Christmas gifts. They spent all the money that they want to spend and they're done. But January was my biggest month. I had 148 sales that month. It was crazy. It was so crazy. I was very busy and I thought that was crazy. And then February was 285 orders.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not even sure how many I've had in March, but it's been a lot.
Obviously a lot because since you submitted your application, you were at like a little over 500.
Right.
I want to unpack this with you, Kailey. My mind is blown. Where do I even want to start? So first of all, I went and looked up tallow on Etsy, and there's obviously some great demand for it. There's actually also, there's not like a ton of competition, but there is competition. And there was like a full page of bestseller badge tallow creams that you just came in and smashed. And I want to know if you have any theories as to why and how. Like, what did you do differently?
Sure. Well, tallow is it's very popular right now. Everybody's kind of wanting it and everybody's trying it. And like you said, there's a lot of competition for it. But I really feel like keyword research, it was something that put me ahead of the game in that I do not leave any of my keyword spaces empty. Yes. I have done so much research on that and I've changed and tweaked and gone in there. I've looked at other people's keywords just to see what's working. And
it sounds like you've listened to me, Kailey. It sounds like you've actually done what I suggested you do.
Yes.
I'm teasing. But keep going. I'm excited.
Another tool that I used was Everbee, which has been very helpful for me. Their keyword research tool. When I found that, I was like, how have I not known about this? And it was you that I found that through. So thanks to you.
No, and I'm ecstatic for you.
Thank you.
So you go in and you search a keyword and then you find what the related phrases are.
Mm-hmm.
How do you like to use that tool? Give me a scenario of what you put into Everbee's.
Yeah, sure. So when I'm looking to make a new product, and I have a couple different ones I'm thinking of putting out soon, but I will go into Everbee, into I don't know if it's their keyword research or their product research. I'm not sure. Anyway, I will type in the product that I want to use and like related terms for that product and see what kind of a score it has. When I was getting into tallow balm,
yes.
I had the tallow balm keyword score was huge at that point. It was like 480 compared to a lot of other keywords that you might see at like 20 or 40 or 80. So the fact that it was all the way up there at 480 was kind of assigned me that this is probably something that's very popular and I'm going to get in on it and see what I can do with that.
Yes. So she is talking about the keyword research tool. And when you go in there and you type in a word and you hit search, it's going to give you a list of up to like 500 related keywords to what you searched. And on the far left side, it'll say, remember, Everbee has a free membership, guys. So there's no reason why you can't use it. I will put a link. Let me make sure I put a link in the show notes there for you to just pop over and get it installed. But then if you click the arrow next to the keyword score, you can filter it. So you can make it so that the highest number, the best scored ones are on the top rather than going through all of those pages of results. That's what I do. I filter it. And then I have the highest number on top, just like any other filter would work. And then you can find so she has smashed it. I'm going to throw out, Kailey, something to chew on is sourdough starter. Since you're already doing so well in this, if you wanted to add sourdough starter, I think you would kill it. And then anything kind of beeswax types of products. I was thinking like, even like a mustache balm kind of thing. I'm just excited. We're just going to make you a little millionaire. It's going to be great. What else? Are you doing anything to differentiate your product from others? Like, are you using different scent combinations, or what else do you think is helping you?
I haven't really ventured too much into the scents. I just have 3 different ones that people can choose from.
Smart.
Something that is very important to me is I make sure that my customers feel like my friends. So I know not everybody wants to run their business like that, but in my shop, front and foremost, I want everybody to know that they're buying from Kailey. They're not just buying from some random company. They know a little bit of my story. They can see my face. They know who I am. And to me, that's very important when I'm shopping from somebody anymore. Like, just for example, I was looking to buy something recently for my business, and I was on Etsy, and I had like 5 different options, and they were all very similar. They were like all the same product, but one of the sellers had their story and a picture of them. And even though their product was $20 more than all the others, I bought from them because I felt like I knew them and I felt very well taken care of. Like they would help me if I had a problem, and they would be behind their product and making sure that I got something very high quality.
I'm completely obsessed with this. Nobody ever wants to talk about it, but it literally changes the game. Tell me some practical ways. What exactly do you put in your shop, and what do you do to make people feel more connected to you? What are some of the strategies you use?
Sure. So I try to fill out everything that Etsy gives me. So I make sure I have my picture there in the shop owner image. I have my story there down below my shop. And then also in my listings, I also put like images that I design in Canva. I have a little picture of me that says, that has a little bit of my story. It says, "Hi, I'm Kailey. I'm from Nebraska. Thank you for supporting my shop." I also have a couple other images just like that basically just give people an idea that I'm a human. And along with that, I do offer, I try to offer same or next day shipping, because something that I noticed with all of my competitors is that often they're making this product after they get the order. So it can take a week or 2 weeks before they can actually get that sent out. And I looked in their reviews and noticed that was something that people were talking about, that this product was great, but it just took so long for the product to get to them that they were having, they were like, by the time I'm got one, then I'm ready. I'm going to need to order another one. And I was like, there is one little way that I can probably stand out from my competition. And that's something that I've learned also, is that if you're wondering how you can better your product or your service, go to your competitors and just look at their reviews, not to tear them down or anything, but you can learn from that and learn what can make a happy customer.
That is brilliant. I love it. Anyone listening to this episode is going to go make a lot of money now, because you're dropping so much gold dust here. Okay. No, I just had 2 questions in my head that flew out. So the first one was, I was wondering, that month that you had, all of a sudden you had over 100 sales. Did you have all of those ready to go?
Yes. I always make my product before I list it as available on Etsy, because it would give me so much anxiety if I got an order and I wasn't able to get that product made, and then maybe I'm going to get another 20 orders or 30 orders, and now I'm very behind. So I always make sure I have that product ready before it's available to buy, which is why I sell out a lot.
And you have 3 scents. How did you have over 100 of 3 different scents? I don't understand.
I can make a lot at a time. I can make about 100 jars at a time. That's about what I make a week, is 100 jars a week. And it's crazy. I need to get a better system. I have systemized it some, where it's a lot easier than it was at the beginning, but still it's a lot of work.
No, that's complete insanity. And then just to clarify what you said before, because I want to make sure people heard, you put that graphic you created, the About Me graphic, in each listing photo gallery, right?
Yes.
So where you're uploading your listing images, you've got an About Me in there. Why didn't I think of that, Kailey? Like 4 gold stars. Why didn't I? That's brilliant.
Thank you. I saw that on somebody else's and I was like,
That's
I've got to do that. And I don't know, maybe it's helped, maybe it hasn't, but
Oh
I
no,
think
I
it can't hurt.
guarantee you. You know what? That's not, I don't know. You know what? No, I'm going to take it back. I was about to say, I don't know if it would be as effective for print on demand or digital products, but yes, it would. Because at the end of the day, we're in a world of AI where we're looking at every image, wondering if it's even real. You can kind of tell a person's real picture versus an AI picture. There's just something about it that feels, and so that's why I'd say even go like kind of old school on the picture, something a little more even Polaroidy that's not as polished, that's not as filtered, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm not giving you Kailey, you just keep doing what you're doing. I'm just telling other people, like, I think creating that human connection, game set match, and you're looking at the reviews is utterly genius. I know what I wanted to ask you. How long is the beef tallow balm shelf stable for?
So I like to say it's stable for 6 to 12 months as long as you don't get any moisture in there. If you get moisture in there because it doesn't have any preservatives in there, it could grow mold. But if you want to keep it for like 2 years, you could stick it in your refrigerator.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool. I have one of those little makeup fridges that, so I could be doing that. Oh, it's the best because I like everything cold going on my face. What else did I want to ask you about that? Oh, what about like the legal side of it? Because you're like obviously dealing with animal products and like people's bodies and stuff like that. Did you take any special, and this isn't legal advice, guys, like Kailey's just living her best life, but I'm just curious, did you do anything to safeguard legally with since it's consumable?
That is a great question, and that is something that I've done a lot of research on. There are certain things in skincare that you have to be careful of if you're a small seller and you don't have like the government's protection like backing you, you know?
Yes.
And my mom has helped me a lot with that because she actually has her own skincare company, which is how I've learned a lot. But one thing with skincare, natural products and stuff like that is you don't want to make any health claims. So I don't want to get onto Etsy and say, put this balm on your cut because it'll heal it. Because even if it is great and might heal that, I can't say that because if somebody put that on their cut and it got infected, they could sue me because I made a claim about that. So I have to be very careful with my wording. And I'm also like, I'm always researching that. I don't have all the answers together.
No, neither do lawyers. It's all just, it's mostly art. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm always looking. I've had several other people who do sell tallow balm as well reach out to me and say, hey, is there anything special that we need for this? So I don't know that any of us really know at this point, but as it becomes more popular, I think it will become more common knowledge what we need to do with this.
Y'all, I don't know about you, but the legal stuff surrounding business really intimidates me. Like, it's not fun. It's not easy. And I generally just want to shove my head in the sand like an ostrich and hope it will go away and nothing bad will ever happen. But the truth of the matter is that we're business owners now, and that is so cool. And it takes so much courage and effort. And it would be absolutely devastating to lose it all and more, like maybe even our homes or our family's well-being, because we didn't take a few precautionary steps in the front end to set up our business correctly. So whether you're just getting started on Etsy or you've been selling for years now but never quite got around to the legal setup, I want to make sure you know about Attorney Paige Hulse and her creative law shop. Paige used to be an Etsy seller just like us, which I freaking love because she gets us, she understands the nature of our business and the Etsy platform so well, like so much better than, some local attorney who maybe understands like, general law. She's the one person that I trust for myself and that I trust to take care of you guys for like any entrepreneurship needs. Or by the way, equestrian as well. If you happen to be a horsey person like she and I are, she's got a specialty there as well. So first off, I want you to know about some free resources. Paige was on the podcast 3 times so far. So if you look for episodes 36, 61, and 86. Great free advice there. You can learn some of the basics from her of how to protect your business, the way you need to set it up correctly. She's an absolute doll, and she's smart as a whip. And also, like, you're going to love the easy way that she breaks down like complicated legalese. Like I can actually focus on what she's saying and not go blank because it's so technical. You're going to love her. And also, this is really important. I want you to know that she's available if you, especially in the United States, of course, like if you run into legal trouble or if you need to register a trademark or you have some other issue with your business that requires legal advice, you can just search for Paige Hulse Law. Hulse is spelled H as in horse, ULSE. And I'll also have her sites, of course, linked in the show notes for you guys. And most importantly, I want to make sure you know about her creative law shop because it can save you boatloads of money. It's literally like a template shop for like legal documents, the kind of things that we need all the time. So in many instances, you can just purchase a legal template from Paige directly from her site that will protect your business for a fraction of the price that you'd pay for hiring an hourly attorney. And it's going to be written a million times better than something free off of the internet. Like the stories she's told me about trying to defend people who grabbed a free like contract of some kind off the internet because they didn't want to spend the money. And then like it cost them everything, like they thought they were safe, but those templates are not written well and they're not written specific to like the Etsy entrepreneur. So she has so much in there. You can get everything from your LLC contract, which is super critical, multi-person LLC agreements for partnerships if you work with more than one person in the LLC, special provisions for your Etsy shop policies if you really want to cover yourself there, affiliate agreements, influencer contracts, photography releases, and so much more. There's literally over 80 contracts available. Plus additional free resources. Her blog is incredible. And there's a lot of educational tools, like some even for purchase if you want to take like a course learning some basic business law stuff. So check it out. If you need to order something from the Creative Law Shop and you want a bit of a break on the price, you can use my coupon code SMILEY10. That's all lowercase, SMILEY and the number 10, and you get 10% off, and hopefully that will help. So just go to shopcreativelaw.com, and there are a ton of resources waiting for you. My hope and prayer is that you'll never need to fight a legal battle, but just like we have fire insurance and car insurance for a reason, setting up your business the right way now can save you from a lot of pain later. So I really trust Paige to help you out. Yeah. No, but I think you're being really wise about the health claims. Did you end up setting up an LLC for your company?
I'm working on it. It's in the
That's awesome.
It's in the works. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I didn't do it right away either, but once you start taking off like this, it's a good idea. Do you have any tips about like the Etsy marketplace? You've already given us some, but I'm just curious since I gave you these and you're very organized. Do you have other things you wanted to say about that? Like things that have worked for you, things you've noticed, tips that you'd mention?
Let me think about that.
Looking at the reviews was a really, really good one. Focusing on customer service is huge. I know you'd said in your application, I want to talk about customer service.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like you're using Everbee for SEO research. You're filling out all of I think you've really hit it already, Kailey.
Yeah, definitely the looking at other people's reviews. Also, I like my customers to know that if they have questions or if they need help with anything, I'm always there to help. So that's also something that I have in my graphic and my listing pictures is if you have any questions, just reach out to Kailey because she's happy to answer any question. And I have had lots of people reach out just with questions. No question is too small or too silly to ask. I love helping people. Customer service is honestly one of my favorite things about business.
This is why you're getting so many sales. That's so amazing. What are the biggest lessons you've learned?
Oh, okay. One of the lessons that I have learned even in the last couple of weeks is that you should always have enough shipping and packaging supplies for your orders that you can send out. So I live an hour and a half away from any like office supply place where I could get supplies. So it's not realistic for me to have to run and get a thing of tape every time I need tape or more boxes. So I kind of had to learn that I need to know a week and a half out what I'm going to need for what I can send out, and get that ordered on Amazon or whatever so that I can have that. And just to know that I shouldn't be listing stuff if I'm not able to ship it. That's been really hard in the last couple weeks.
So you can have Amazon delivered. I don't know if maybe when we're at our lake house in northern Wisconsin, it takes a week to get something from Amazon. And like when I'm in Texas, though, in San Antonio, it takes literally 24 to 48 hours. So what is your
Really?
turnaround time like?
Oh, yeah, at least a week.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know
And then
that's possible.
20,
24
oh
to
my
40?
gosh. No,
Really?
girl, I could go on Amazon right now. There are things I could have it tonight. I could have them today.
Really?
We're recording around 12:30. I could have them here between 5 and 7 because I'm in the city and there's a distribution center. It's a whole different world. You know what though? It's not a good one. Stay where you are. That's why that's why we're moving. The convenience is nice though. But what about packaging? Has that been a big thing for you?
Um,
Like do you focus on cute packaging or do you keep it simple? What is your approach?
oh, yes, I love cute packaging. I I probably put too much emphasis on the cute packaging.
No
Yeah,
such thing.
I have little shipping boxes. It doesn't take a big box to ship my products because it's so small. But I have stamps. I stamp my logo on the box. I also include a little handwritten note in each order, which I feel like I've had lots of people who have reached out and say that they love the handwritten note. So at first, I wrote everything out on this little note, like, thank you for supporting my business. If you have any questions, reach out to me. Even more than that. And each note took me about 4 minutes to write. So when I
Exactly.
start getting like 50 orders at a time, that
Mhm.
became unrealistic. And now I actually print those out on my printer and then write a little handwritten note in under that and pack that in with each of my orders.
That's brilliant. I remember having the exact same thing. I couldn't believe that the most frustrating part of my work was writing the thank you notes, even though I knew they meant so much.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a really big fan of Chip and Joanna Gaines, and I'd ordered something from Magnolia, and they're so, she's so good at all of that. And there was this card, like it was like a postcard that came in that box of things that I ordered, and had their picture on the front with it said thank you so much. It was just like a beautiful picture, and on the back was a thank you note. And to me, it meant I like saved it for 3 years. To me, it meant just as much because it felt so personal and it was so lovely. And so I pivoted to that. I started going to vistaprint.com and having those cards made because it was just such a time saver. But I knew something personal and something branded needed to go in there. So I think I'm just giving people ideas, but I think your approach is utter genius. The other thing that drove me crazy eventually too was the cutting out of the shipping labels to then tape them on. I definitely moved to like a label printer and all of that. So have you done that yet?
Yes, that was one of my first investments in my business, and it was the best. I actually ran out of labels yesterday, and so now I have to like cut out and tape on 40
No,
labels yesterday,
it's the
and
worst.
it was the worst. I am never gonna let that happen again.
Even when you get to like 8 or 10 orders a day, it gets exhausting because by then you've already done a lot of work. It seems like nothing if, you're so excited just to get one order a day or whatever. And maybe you even take pride in those steps. But the minute you amplify it, and sometimes like it has with Kailey, it'll happen overnight. It's all those little things add up and that those time efficiencies become like make or break. Were there any other really big lessons that you wanted to share that was so smart about the supplies, making sure you had shipping supplies? I know what I want to ask you too. Do you use like what kind of jar do you use for your tallow cream? Is it like glass or metal or what do you choose?
Yes, I do use glass because
It's
plastic
the best.
just didn't really seem like it would really align well with my beliefs in my product. So I do use glass. They have metal lids, and I have had a couple jars break in the mail,
Mm.
which was very disappointing, but that was only like 3 jars out of these 800 some. So
Yes,
really, I don't figure that's too bad.
not at
I
all.
I pack them very well and put lots of paper in there, and I don't have many problems with that. And I know that people appreciate having that glass jar, just because you aren't having any toxins that plastic might have. And then when they're done with the cream in that jar, they can reuse that jar for something else, which I love.
No, I mean, every time I'm going to choose glass over plastic. There's no hesitation whatsoever. So 10 out of 10 recommend. Did you want to throw anything else? I cut you off before on the big lessons, or should we go to the next one?
I think we're good to move on.
Okay. I do think you maybe have addressed this, but I'm going to just double check. Do you have any other theories about why the success happens so fast? It sounds like you really primed the pump. You primed the algorithm. But I'm just curious if you have any other theories.
Hmm.
Oh, that's right. You mentioned SEO before as one of the reasons, like you used
SEO,
keywords that had really good keyword score.
customer service, and the fact that my niche is very popular right now.
Mm. So trends.
Trends. Yeah, trends for sure. I think all those things together have played in. And
Did you know that going in, that it was going to be a big trend, or did it just work out that way for you? I know you did a lot of research, so I'm just curious.
I feel like I kind of knew, but I didn't think it would work for me. I kind of had imposter syndrome where I was like, this will probably work for other people, but probably not for me because nothing's ever worked big for me.
Mm.
And
You
that's
are
not true.
19, Kailey. I am 40 and nothing has worked. 42 and nothing's worked big for me. Good grief. I'm so proud of you. What about tips for the holidays and when things were really crazy?
Oh, yeah. That was very stressful, honestly, because I wanted to make
Mm-hmm.
sure that people got their Christmas gifts before Christmas. And what I learned is that you have to have a cutoff day. Like, you have to be
Yes.
able to say, after the 15th or whatever, like, I cannot guarantee that you'll get your package. I'm sorry. But everything in me wanted to get people their package even when they ordered a couple days before Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, I felt so bad for people when that happened, and there's nothing you can really do about
Like,
that.
I
But
will ship this today. It still won't be there till New Year's. Like,
right, exactly. Yeah, there's only so much you can do.
did you have any lost packages? Any drama that way?
I have had some of those, yeah, especially around the holidays I did. And I know a lot of people don't do this, and that is fine, but as I've said before, customer service is my thing. If a package gets lost and I'm not sure where it is, or if it gets to the wrong address, whatever, I will send that person out another package. Like, I don't even mess with the Etsy shipping, like how they'll take care of that. Like, I don't mess with claims or anything. I'll just send that person another package so that they can get what they ordered. And honestly, I haven't had to do that many times, but I
Mm-hmm.
just like to say, you ordered this. I said I would send it to you, and you're gonna get this package.
That's exactly what I used to do with the sign. Like, I would literally build and paint them a new sign within 24 hours and get it out. I would, though, like, go through USPS if it didn't show up, and I'd get the claim. I'd use the claim there, but I wouldn't go through Etsy. So,
Yeah.
like, recoup your cost that way. I don't know. I think it's maybe gotten more cumbersome than it's worth, depending on how much each package is worth. But mine were worth sometimes $200 if they were ordering a really big piece. So I was definitely claiming that. And then I didn't really mind because I'm like, okay, this person's going to love me because I am taking care of them. I'm literally redoing a $200 piece, but I'm
Mm.
also getting paid like I got another order because I got the claim money. So it wasn't that bad. What about someone brand new to Etsy? Maybe someone's listening in their tractor right now, Kailey, and they are thinking about starting an Etsy shop. And I would love to know what tips you would give that person who hasn't even started yet or is just starting and they are nervous and they don't know what they're doing.
Oh, sure. Okay, so first of all, if you have not started, don't be afraid to start. And there are things that you're not going to know, and that's okay. After I decided to start my Etsy shop, it was 2 whole months before I was actually brave enough to do that. And
Okay.
I'm I don't know why. I'm not scared of many things, but that was something I was scared of. I was like, what if I get shut down? What if this doesn't work? What if it's a failure? What if everybody thinks that I'm terrible for whatever reason? But I was so scared to start it. And then when I finally did, I just took it step by step, and I figured everything out as it went. So that would be
Yep.
my first piece of advice. My second piece of advice, as I already mentioned, is treat your customers well because they are your business. If you don't have customers, you don't have a business. And I love to treat my customers like friends. And finally, oh dear, I don't have a third.
No, that's okay. Also, like,
Is
genius
that
for
okay?
you on a consumable product because they're going to need to come back every couple months. If you treat them well, they're just going to reorder from you over and over again. So that's, oh, I know. You know what I didn't put on the list that I'd love to ask you? You recently, I believe, opened up a website as well.
Oh, yes, kind of.
Are you Shopify or what did you end up doing?
I went with WooCommerce, and
Okay.
I've kind of been regretting it because I don't really understand it. My sister and my mom both have WooCommerce websites, and they're great with theirs. But I just go into it, and I'm like, I do not understand what I'm doing. So it's possible I might switch over to Shopify, but I do think that it's a good idea to, when you start to grow, everybody says that you should branch out from if you're on Etsy or Amazon or wherever, you should have your own place where people can buy, because you own that. You don't own Etsy or Amazon or whatever. And I'm just trying to work on that.
All right, friend, this one is for my people who want to build and scale an Etsy shop for physical products. You may not know this about me because I've run and talked about all different types of shops since launching the podcast, but I actually got my start on Etsy in physical products, and to this day, I consider that my expertise. My very first Etsy business was a handmade shop for wood signs that my husband and I built, painted, boxed, and shipped, and we ran that puppy for 6 amazing years and made hundreds of thousands of dollars with that shop. I will never forget it. I'm so grateful. I know what it's like, and I know how to build a successful handmade business. It can be really hard in the beginning, especially because the physical part of the product creation takes up a lot of time and energy. And then you have to pair that with like having to develop the actual skills of getting people to buy them. It's a whole different mammoth of a ball game. So if that is you, you're planning a physical product shop, or you've got one that's not getting the results that you want, you need my flagship Etsy course. It's called Listings That Sell 2.0. And I will literally teach you everything I know, every secret up my sleeve, and the entire strategy that I used. And now hundreds of other students have used as well to get sales on Etsy. We're going to talk about how Etsy works and how to leverage the algorithm, how to find pockets of demand so that you don't list your products and just get crickets. I'm going to teach you everything about SEO, or search engine optimization, which is just a fancy way of saying I'm going to show you how to use the right words on your listings to make sure that they get seen by shoppers. We're going to talk about product photography tips, shipping, pricing, shop setup, legal and tax basics, and so much more. You're also going to get access to my private student Facebook group, which I am in every single day answering questions, and we support and celebrate each other all the time. So, bottom line, if you want to make this Etsy thing work for you, I have over 20 hours of training waiting for you so you can master the Etsy marketplace or fill in any gaps of knowledge that you need. Or if you are strapped for time, which is 100% where I'm at right now, and you just need the bottom line, I've provided a fast track roadmap so you can get through the most critical lessons in under 5 hours. If you are ready, let's do this together. I'm going to hold your hand. You can visit the link in the show notes to learn more, and I will see you on the inside. No, that's amazing. I will say I never liked WooCommerce either. I used it and I couldn't get into it at all. Shopify, it feels like Etsy on your own website. It's very user friendly. So the biggest thing is like driving your own traffic. And for you, this is perfect because it's consumable. You send out the Etsy order and the card in there has, hey, save 10% or 20% on your next order from my website. And now you've got them consumable. And I think even on Shopify, you could put up a subscription where you're sending one out every other month. You could literally just like layer your bank account, Kailey. So for a consumable product, that's perfect. Are you driving traffic there right now? Or are you still, if you don't even like WooCommerce, maybe not, but I'm just curious if you're doing anything with it yet.
I have not done too much. Not really anybody even knows that I have a website yet. So I need to be better about that. But Etsy just keeps me so busy that it's hard to focus.
Yeah, I don't think you need to be beating yourself up about that. I think, but I do love that you're planning for the future. You're thinking, hey, I don't control this. Something could happen. It's better if I definitely get that email list going if you haven't already. Use Everbee email. Are you using it yet?
I haven't.
Oh yeah, that'll be good.
I should. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be a really good next step for you because now you've got all these people and that'll help you remind them to reorder. That's going to be oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I feel like we need to talk again in a year and get an update. So what are your goals? Like what are next steps? What is the plan? It's okay if you don't have one, but if you do, I'd love to hear it.
Oh, I have a lot of dreams. I'm a big dreamer for sure. And I always have something that I want to do next. So right now I'm just focusing on trying to get my website up. I would like to post on social media more. I'd like to get my email list started, even though I don't really want to write emails. Everybody tells me I should, so I'll do that.
You only have to do it once, and then it'll resend the same one. You know what I mean?
Really?
Like it's not like,
okay.
Oh my gosh, yeah. You're gonna have a funnel, so you're gonna have them all pre-written. They're gonna be in there, and then the thing is just gonna send them on whatever interval you say. You're not gonna have to constantly write new emails. You might do like one newsletter a week or every other week, but it's not like you're having to write. It's going to be great. I promise. We can talk offline, Kailey. Yeah, okay. It doesn't have to be. I don't like writing them either, but you've got to do it and you've got to get them in there. So good. Email list, social media. What platforms are you going to use?
So I have Facebook and I have Instagram. I'm kind of steering clear of TikTok. Just, I don't know. Personally, I don't know that I want to get into that. Maybe it'd be good. I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm on Instagram, Facebook. Haven't posted much there. I know I should. But again, it's like
don't shit on yourself. Don't shit on yourself. You know what I would do is I would create reels for your Instagram, especially behind the scenes. Reels are where it's at, and then repurpose them as YouTube shorts on your channel.
Ah, there you go. Okay.
And the other thing you might consider, instead of TikTok, I would go Pinterest for what you're doing. And your pictures are great. Oh my gosh. And then any reels you create, you can put up on Pinterest as videos as well. And it'll all just point right to your shop or your website. Pinterest all day long. Oh my gosh. I don't even want to know what the search volume is for tallow balm on Pinterest. You want to double your sales, Kailey? Well, okay, we'll talk. It'll be good. But yeah, you guys, physical products, that's the way to go. I personally love TikTok, but some people just don't want to go there. And that's fine. We only have so many hours in the day. I don't think you need to be on every single one of them. I think that TikTok can really explode a small business, but you're already doing great. And you can, what I'm learning right now, what the key is to Instagram is being prolific. It's true for all of them, but Instagram, if you create, y'all are going to stab me, but I'm just going to tell you the truth, 3 to 5 reels a day and 7 to 10 stories a day. And you just feed that beast. I mean, because I've always dogged on Instagram. So now I'm like, I'm done dogging on it. It's clearly working for people. Let's learn how to do this, Elizabeth. And so that's what's happening. And that's the secret. 3 to 5 reels a day, 7 to 10 stories a day. Some of those stories can be the reels, game, set, match, Instagram. Don't get overwhelmed, Kailey. I think Pinterest is great for you. I think even if you did 1 reel a day, you're going to be able to grow just fine. So before we find out where we can follow you, we have a new tradition that we're doing here on the podcast where you are going to be leaving a question for the next person. But first I have to ask you the one that the last person set. And they said, if you can wave a magic wand and change one thing about your shop, like your process, not Etsy, but your shop, what would it be?
I would make tallow not be as greasy.
Okay. We'll just rewire the cows, Kailey. No problem.
In my production, that is the hardest part is, tallow isn't necessarily greasy, but when you're dealing with it in large amounts and you have it all over your hands and you're trying to get it in jars, I just wish it wasn't as greasy.
That is a riot. Okay, I love it. It was not at all what I expected. What question would you like to leave for the next guest?
Oh, yes. Okay, so I would like to know, what was it? I had it. I'm sorry. I'm blanking.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. We can come back to it in a second. Do you want to start by saying where we can find you? Where would you like people to look you up, find your product, shop, stay connected, all of that?
Yes. So on social, I am at Little Midwest Farm. That's my business name. My Etsy shop is Little Midwest Farm. As I said, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Again, not very much. I don't have very much posted there. Hoping to be a little better about that. Yeah.
Okay, so those are the places. And your YouTube is your name, Kailey Mentink. We will link all of that below. And then did that question come to you?
Yes, it has.
I knew it.
My question is, what was one mistake that you made in your business that has really helped you to become a better business owner?
I love it. One mistake made that made you better. That is a beautiful question, and I can't wait to hear what they have to say. Okay, my dear. So we know where to find you. This has been such a joy, and you are so lovely, Kailey. I'm really excited for you. You have such a bright future, and I really want you to keep us posted on how this continues to go. And you better believe I'm going to be blowing up your inbox with farm questions here in the next couple months.
That would be awesome. I would love to answer any questions.
Thank you so much. And thank you for your time today and for listening to I think you've listened to every single episode. I'm completely mind blown by that. In the tractor, I need a picture of that. That just gets me. Can you send me a picture of you in the tractor so I can just hang it up?
I have lots of them in the tractor. Yes.
Okay, yes. I need that on my dream board over here because that just makes me so happy. Thank you so much, dear. You've been amazing and I'm so proud of you. And you guys, thank you for listening in. if you did not take away 1,000 ideas from this episode, you need to listen to it again because Kailey just blew it all open for us. This was wonderful. I'm rooting for all of you guys. I'm so excited. You're all going to have stories like this. And I just make sure you email me them because it's what keeps me going. And until next week, y'all, I love you. Go make something awesome. Have a good one. And that's a wrap on this episode of How to Sell Your Stuff on Etsy. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. If you're looking for more resources, head on over to howtosellyourstuff.com where you'll find podcast show notes, all the links from today's episode, the blog, courses, coaching, and more. If this episode was helpful to you, awesome. The greatest compliment I can receive from you is a rate, review, and subscribe on this podcast. Not only will it allow us to connect again on a future episode, it lets me know I'm providing you with value and helps other people find this content more easily. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for your support. Have a great day and see you next time.